Hello everybody and welcome to Overgrowth Weekly number 13. Today is March 13th, 2011 and I am Silverfish. And with me today is Wolfbrother9393. Say hello.
Hey guys.
And he will be joining us today as he have done two or three times, one or two times, one time, yeah. Before, and he is of course the dude who is known as a pretty awesome mapper in the community. And today we have quite a few things on the agenda if compared to the previous weeks, probably because David is now back from moving and John and Jeff is back from GDC. So we have a lot of stuff to talk about today, and yeah, it's going to be an awesome show. But first off, we have the alpha as usual, under the weekly alpha segment. And in this part we take a look at the changes from the previous alpha and yeah, just comment on it in general. The thing is, this week is the third week in a row where basically no changes have been made. The only change this week is that you can now hold Shift and press W and S to go up and down in editor mode. Like we talked about this last week, and I said I would tell David about it so he could fix it, and I did, and he did. And yeah, that's the only change this week. But since both David have finished moving now, and John and Jeff is back from GDC, we should see some more updates in the upcoming alphas, and we'll talk about that later in the show. But now we should just move on to the next item on the agenda, which is Art Asset Overview 8. And this is a weekly video that the art dude in the Wolffight team shells out, where he talks about art asset making for Overgrowth. So I'm just going to start this video here and let you enjoy this video, and then we'll be back in a couple of minutes. Enjoy, guys.
Welcome to the Overgrowth Art Asset Overview. This week I'm going to cover the modeling steps that it takes to get a weapon into the game. The first step is modeling out the basic shapes for the high poly model. For this part I like to use a technique called subdivision surface modeling, where you use a simple mesh that's smoothed to create a model that I can later use for sculpting. It's important to get most of the details right at this point because the changes that I'm going to make with the sculpting are pretty minor, just adding weathering and maybe some carving. I wanted to do a couple of variations of this weapon, so here is the first variation. And here's the one that looks more like the one in the concept art. With that out of the way, then we can go and add some small details with the sculpting. Add some carving into the handle, just to, it looks interesting, but also it would be practical. This pattern would improve grip. I had intended the blades to look kind of like leaves, so I'm just repeating that motif in the carving here. And finally adding some wood grain. The final modeling step is to create the game resolution mesh, which is a lot lower resolution than the previous meshes. So to do that, I'm using my previous model and just simplifying that a lot. There are a couple of extra steps here, like creating the UV map and the actual color texture, and baking the high resolution mesh to the low resolution mesh. And that gets us our final in-game asset. In addition to doing the other variation of this weapon that I mentioned earlier, I think it would be fun to try out some different colors for this and see if that looks cool. And finally, I continued working on the clothing assets for this character. Most of them are finished now, except for their final color texture. I think next week I should be able to get this character finalized and running around in the game. Thanks for watching, and don't forget you can pre-order the game at wolfire.com/preorder.
And that was this week's art asset overview. So what we do now is we go through what he was talking about in the video and showing, and just do some brief commenting on it. So first, in the video, he showed his modeling process, modeling the Makahoot, blah blah, something, that weapon we were showing in last week's Overgrowth Weekly. Do you remember what it was called, Wolf Brother?
Maquito, I believe.
Maquito, yeah, something like that. And also known as the horse cutter, as someone said in the chat. Well, he said, yeah, now let's go cut horses in half. Yeah, it was actually you. I didn't say
Yeah, it was actually me.
So yeah, the horse cutter, that's an easier name to remember. And yeah, he had two variations he made of that weapon, and one that had the flatter blades, more flat blades, and the other one had the sharp blades. And actually, well, he ended up making the sharp-bladed one into the game. I'm not sure if he's going to put the other one in there as well, but I actually personally like the one with the flat blades more. Do you have
Yeah,
any?
I agree.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, it just looks more badass like that.
Although I did like how he continued the leaf motif, where he added that into the wood design for the other one.
Mm-hmm, yeah, that's true. That's true. I mean, the new in the current design, I suppose, the blades also resemble leaves, so it's just leaves all over the place. So I guess that kind of ties into that, but still looked a bit more badass with the flat ones. But I guess it's just a matter of preference. And then he kind of went through the three stages, the 3 steps he went through. So first off, it's the basic shapes modeling, where he just creates the basic shapes. And then he goes into the sculpting. I guess he's using ZBrush or perhaps Mudbox, I'm not sure. I know he has tried both, but I'm not sure which one he has settled on right now. And then he went back and tweaked his basic shapes to create a more game-friendly mesh, I suppose you could call it. And there were also a few steps that he didn't show in the video, and those steps were basically the texturing step where you create the color texture, the UV mapping step where you decide what part of your texture is going on what part of the model. It's kind of hard to explain, but anyways. And then the normal baking step, where you take the high poly mesh, the finely sculpted mesh there, and you just like project it onto the low poly mesh to make the low poly mesh look more high poly than it actually is. It's normal maps basically. And then the object creation step, where you just need to create the XML file that ties all these things together and puts them into the game. But perhaps he will show those steps, the missing steps, in another video, because even though they're kind of technical compared to the first 3 steps, I think they're fun to watch to me. I think it's you learn a lot watching other people do stuff like this. Don't you agree, Wolf Brother?
I agree completely. And UV maps are cool. Like, they're just cool.
Yeah, they really are. And just, yeah, cool stuff. I must say that I learn more from just watching other people do stuff than I do from any other thing. I mean, I recently got into drawing, some more advanced digital drawing, as you probably know if you've been watching OGWeekly for a long time. And I need to see someone else draw before I myself can draw well right now. If I try to just go in and draw something, it doesn't end up very nice. Even though I know basically how to do it, it just doesn't work. I noticed this recently. But if I do just watch a video of someone doing it, and just watch a few minutes of someone else drawing, then I can go in and draw, okay looking pictures. So that's kind of weird, but I guess it shows how much you can learn from just watching other people do stuff.
Aubrey's just videos where he's showing in fast motion, he's fast forwarded his drawing. I always find those really inspiring, and that makes me want to go draw. Those are always really cool.
Yeah, I totally agree. And then in the video, he said that the Snowblood Paladin character is mostly finished now. He just needs to do the color texture before he's done. And this character, I'm assuming he's the High Priest, since he has like a robe on and stuff, but he didn't call it the High Priest, did we? Did he?
No, I don't think he did in the video.
No.
He just, yeah.
But he does look like a High Priest, kinda. He just needs a hat or something, maybe, I don't know. Stuff.
Was the that band he had around his neck kind of tying together, wasn't that tying his ears last week? Or was that concept art for it? I can't remember.
Yeah, I think that was concept art, yes. I think it was. He showed off like several pictures of rabbits with their hair tied last week. So, yeah, maybe just mix those together or something, I don't know. Yeah, so we're looking forward to seeing that, because he also writes that next week he should be showing some terrain stuff, and he should also hopefully be done with this rabbit character, and it'll be kind of exciting to see a new character in the game, because they're not the most common thing to be added, so it's kind of exciting to see a new one come now and then. So yeah, looking forward to next week's art asset review. Well done this week, of course, by Aubrey. Yeah.
Definitely looking forward to being able to play as a rabbit priest.
Yeah, totally. So that'll be sweet. So we should move on to the next item on the agenda. And this moves us into the community segment of this show. This is where we take a look at what the community is up to. And first, in the community segment, is always the fan art watch. And there are a few pieces of fan art this week we can take a look at. First off, we have... let's move back to last week. Because last week we showed Kosek. He had made a fine little... no, let's see. Okay, I clicked the wrong button there. Oops. Fan art. There we go. Kosek showed us a drawing where there were wolves and dogs. A kind of fighting scene between wolves and dogs. And he posted a work-in-progress GIF, I suppose you could call it, showing the steps that he went through when making this image. So that's pretty cool. And then we have the finished image right there. And then we have... I don't know if we showed this last week. Let's see. I don't think we showed this last week. Or did we? Well, anyways, this rat, in any case, made by Thanatos Braden on the Wolfire forums. Thanatos Braden, something like that. And this is a grayscale image of a rabbit holding a knife, and he has some kind of sweet armor on. Yeah, I like this picture. It looks very realistic. Our proportions look very nice, and yeah, just very cool. I like... yeah, I can like, but I would want him to color it though. I most often want people to color their images. Everyone can't color their images, I suppose. I don't know.
Seems like a ghost, just kind of coming out of nothingness, like a silhouette almost with light on it.
Yeah. I suppose that's kind of how the rabbits are, so... yeah, striking from the shadows. Sneaky bastards. And apparently he has a... what is that, dog or wolf? Yeah, wolf pup. He's wearing a wolf pup as well, looks like. So that's pretty hardcore. Yeah, I think actually that he probably could work a bit more on the light and shadow, make it just a bit more contrasted, because it looks kind of grey and boring right now. If you could just do the bright parts brighter and the dark parts darker, I think that would make the image look even better. And it would be a pretty easy fix. Of course, well, yeah. Yeah, I hope you know what I mean. Drawing is never easy, but relatively easy at least. Just make the white stuff whiter and the dark stuff darker.
Was that drawn on the computer, or was that drawn with like charcoal pencils? I can't really see from the video.
I think it's drawn on the computer, it looks like it at least, and I don't think he said anything about anything else. I can write what he's saying about it. Okay, so Thanatos Braden writes about this picture. I sketched this ages ago, but was never quite sure what I was going to do with it. The other day I found the sketch again and just decided to experiment, ending up with my current desktop background. So I'm guessing it's made on the computer, and looking at the actual picture, it looks like it was made on the computer as well. And Tonjavik writes in the chat that obviously because dogs can only see in black and white, so it's a dog's eye view. Yeah, that's probably how I was thinking.
Gankang92 Nor was also correcting you earlier. You said he was a rabbit.
Did I say he was a
he's saying, yeah, he's saying it's a rat, not a rabbit.
Yeah, of course it's a rat, yes. I don't know why I would say it was a rabbit. That was a stupid thing to say. Thanks for correcting me, though. And next up we have an image made by Wolfver on the Wolfire forums. And this image is a image of a... yeah, what is that? I'm actually I'm not sure what this is. It looks like it's probably a rabbit. I'm going to go with it being maybe a rabbit. Do you know? Or maybe it could be a rat as well. Can you see what animal this is?
It's the new class that hasn't been revealed yet. Gerbil.
Yes, of course. Yeah, I'm just going
I think it's a rabbit.
Yeah,
okay,
I think
it's a rabbit.
But his ears are so short, or they're just in an angle where they look short, I don't know. Yeah, let's go with rabbit. Yeah, I don't know. It looks awesome in any case. I mean, I like the strokes. It looks very painty, very painted-like. Yeah, someone suggested Bjartensen in the chat, suggested it could be a hamster. Could be a hamster, I don't know. Someone thinks it looks like a squirrel, and that was Tonjavik thinks it looks like a squirrel. Yeah, it could be anything. Okay, so Wolfver writes about this image. a drawing I made in Photoshop. Nothing too fancy. Seeing all the cool artwork on the forum made me want to draw one myself. And actually, yeah, I really like your style, Wolfverse, so I think you should make more of this. I like the painty kind of style. And I wonder what he used to make this. If he did, yeah, he made it in Photoshop, he writes that. I kind of wonder how he gets these brush strokey things going on in Photoshop, but yeah, nice, very nice work.
It looks like he used smear. Yeah, it looks like smear to me.
Yeah, perhaps. Yeah, it looks like, yeah. What were you going to say?
I'd definitely like to see him do some motivational posters for Overgrowth. Seems like the perfect style.
Yeah, that's true actually. And motivational posters always, always are enjoyed on the internets. So, if you made one of the first or the very first motivational poster for Overgrowth, that would be like, huge deal to everyone on the internets, of course.
Rocky Hall wants you.
Yes.
For the Rabbit Army.
That would be sweet. Okay, so let's go on to the next one. Brrr, clicking the button. Clicking the button, clicking the button. This is an image added actually today by a dude called Sadez with a Z on the end. And this one also looks like a rabbit. And he's obviously holding some kind of weapon, a sword, and he has some kind of damages to his clothes. This is a very deep analysis of this image. Yeah, you can hear that, right? Very deep analysis. No, but I really like this image as well. It's nice. It's kind of meh. It feels like something is missing in it, though.
Besides the face on the rabbit. I like the really kind of sketchy look to it, it's like a complete image, but it also has kind of this unfinished quality to it. I don't know, yeah, just sketchy.
Yeah, I agree with that. It looks good in general, but it kind of feels like someone is missing. Something is missing. I don't know if it's just the composition or whatever it might be. It might be that it's kind of uneventful overall, but yeah, it's a nice image though, like in general.
The Legend of Turner.
But this is probably not Turner though, because Turner is not white, dude.
Yeah, I was just again, it looked like a Zelda-y kind of thing.
Oh,
maybe
yeah.
Maybe they just didn't color the rabbit in, keep him like a blank slate. I don't know.
Yeah, he has the green clothes at least. And kind of the mystique and stuff like that of the Zelda universe. And talking about that, it would be kind of sweet to have a Zelda mod for Overgrowth. I mean, making a Zelda mod would be probably kind of easy to do as well. Don't you think?
Yeah, I mean, I'd wait for probably, they're working on the AI pathing right now. I guess we'll probably talk about that later, but, just once they've got all that, a little more stuff implemented in, yeah, definitely.
Oh yeah, we'll be talking about that a bit later in the weekly. But yeah, Zelda mod. And also, what kind of other mods? Oh yeah, someone, Next Bam, we're making a turtle. So why not a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles mod? That would be cool. I mean, they would barely have to change anything, just add new models. And there you have it.
On Indie Games, somebody's also making a Banjo-Kazooie mod. They've already started working on a Banjo model to be put into the Phoenix engine.
Is that so? Where is this? Can you link me or something?
Yeah, I'll find it right now and I'll put it in the chat. It's just linked to the Overgrowth page on IndieDB.
Oh, Overgrowth page on IndieDB, you say? Cool. Yeah, someone made a page on IndieDB, or ModDB it was, of course, because it's a mod, for... Okay, let's see this.
It's in the chat.
Yeah, I got it. Got it! So let's take a look at this. Who's making this? Vadia_Russ on IndieDB is making this. Let's take a look at these pictures. Also tracking it, of course. Oops, new window. Well, that's fine, I suppose. Yeah, sweet. In Maya. Yeah, this is looking pretty awesome. I mean, it's just model render so far, so... well, it will... speaking from experience and just from, you know, what most often happens is that this mod will probably not be finished, but... especially considering it just has model renders so far. But yeah, it's looking good so far with the little stuff he's got right now.
Yeah, it's been kind of at a standstill for a while, but I'm still kind of crossing my fingers. Banjo-Kazooie is awesome.
Yeah, it's I didn't play it too much, but yeah, kind of cool game at least. And if it's someone making a, you know, Banjo-Kazooie mod for Overgrowth, I'll definitely play it. So that's cool. I didn't know about that. For how long was it since the last update? Do you know that?
I don't know, it's been there for a long time though.
Okay, like
I
a
know that
month
much.
or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, last
Month
update
since the
1
last
month
update.
ago, apparently. Okay, yeah. So we'll see if something comes of that. I'm guessing probably not, but yeah, we'll see. Okay, so that was the fan art watch. Now let's move on to the next item on the agenda, and that is Jack the Awesome's gymnasium level. And gymnasium is actually the Swedish word for, what is that? High school, I think, or something like that. The thing after you finish 9th grade. Anyways, so let's take a look at this. This is, but that's not, by the way, that's not why he chose that name, I'm guessing. Because in English, it doesn't mean that. Anyways, okay. So I'm going to just play through this level, and yeah, so you can take a look at it.
This looks awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. The visual stuff, it's kind of gray and boring in general, but since... yeah, I can't say my first level. I don't know if this is his first level, of course, but I'm assuming it's one of his first, since it's the first one I've seen from him at least. Jumping over here. Oh, you're supposed to go down here. I've played through this level once before, but I don't think I took the correct path here. Yeah, you're supposed to run around here, and then up here. And over here, let's see. Or are you? Maybe not. Okay.
Yeah, there definitely needs to be some sort of indicator of where you're supposed to go, because if you can go all these different directions and there's not like a... I mean, I assume you're trying to go to the top, right?
Yeah, I assume that as well. It's kind of an old school kind of approach, and hardcore approach, I suppose. Since there are no directions, you're just supposed to know where to go. But as I said, whoa, I accidentally jumped down. I'm going to teleport up there again. As I said, my first map was kind of like this as well. I just made it for myself, and when you make something for yourself, it automatically becomes kind of hard for almost anyone else. I want to grab this ledge without jumping over it. There we go. Okay. And then shimmy along this thing. Yeah, some kind of visual indicator, just do some, you know, just color some blocks or something, or just you do arrows or whatever. And in the map I made, I showed last week, When you download that map, you get a few decals with it. Of course, adding decals is a pain in the ass right now, but still, just something like that. Just add 3D stuff if that's too hard. You know, something to show where the player is supposed to go.
Have you asked them to fix the minor stuff like that yet, since they fixed the camera the way it used to be?
I'm thinking that I probably should, but I haven't talked to them about that in particular yet. I like this part. No, I fell down. I think I'm supposed to grab that ledge over there. Let's see. We're just going to fly around her to see how I probably am supposed to be doing this. Oh yeah, this is a part of the level I didn't even go through. I made this completely different last time I played it.
Did you do your flip jumps up the wall?
Well, you can just
skip half the map.
Yeah, something like you can just wall jump up here, you see. It's very simple to get past a lot of this map. And when you do this, da 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 da, you get to the top here and you've like skipped over half, no, not over half the map, but a large part of the map it looks like. So let's see where I get when I do this. No, I fell down again. Crap. I'm just going to teleport forward there. Okay, so what I'm guessing you're supposed to do is grab this ledge and shimmy along it all the way to over here and then jump up here. So let's pretend I did that. Yay. Also, there are kind of light bugs everywhere, as you can probably see. And that is due to, you know, the lighting system isn't done yet, of course. You know, stuff in general isn't done. Oh yeah, oh yeah. It's one of those centrifugal stuff where you run around. That's awesome. If from a platforming, just gameplay perspective, this is a very good level. This is very awesome. Okay, am I supposed to jump to over there, perhaps? Let's see. Okay, now I'm here. Wall jump here? Something? Or... oh. I think he needs to make it so that you can't wall jump up to the end. Yeah, that's quite important. And especially over at this place. Here, I had no idea where to go when I came here, because I came here when I jumped up there as well. So I was standing here, and apparently there is a platform over there, but it's totally disguised in that wall. Just blends in like some kind of predator or something. Oh, you're supposed to do a wall jump there. Let me do that again.
I really like how there are like a lot of different elements. Like it's not like a bunch of stuff over and over again. Even though it's like a large map and then there's a lot of platforming to do, it's always got, there's just a lot of variety to it.
Yeah, exactly. And that's kind of what I meant when I said that, you know, the map is good from a gameplay perspective. Because, yeah, it's not repeating itself too much and it's kind of fun and it has good variety of things to do and you feel kind of badass when you go through it. Just needs to have some more kind of art stuff to it to make it look a bit better. Even if it's just, you know, changing colors here and there. That's enough, basically.
Yeah, did you ever said that there's the arrow when you got up there? I was thinking the same thing, that they waited to show any direction you're supposed to go in at the very end, right when you got to the top.
Yeah. And that last jump there was kind of hard to do as well. I had to, you know, try it several times in order to get the right to know when to jump, so I could do it correctly when I was doing the weekly. I had to try it like 5 times before I got it right. So that's kind of an unnecessarily hard jump as well. But you know, that's what happens when you're not doing it for anyone but yourself, which it does feel like he did for this map, but I don't know if he actually did. So, yeah. But yeah,
that's we have.
Yeah, go ahead.
That's why we have a pro playing it right now.
Yeah.
Bajartinson said Silverfish is going to parkour the enemies down when the game is done. He's pretty much professional at it now.
Yeah, I will for sure be doing that if it's possible. If not, I'm going to make a mod where you can parkour your enemies to death. You just make a flip and then everyone dies. It'll be awesome. So yeah, this map made by... Who made this map? I've already forgot. Let's see. Jack the Awesome. Yeah, and it's called Gymnasium. So you can download this in the SPF. The link that you can see in the agenda does work, and it takes you to the SPF because there's no video of this video. There's a video of this video yet. There's no video of this level yet. So yeah, perhaps I can upload this video to YouTube and people can watch it there if they stuff. Anyways, that's kind of not relevant, but still, yeah, download it. It's a pretty cool map, fun to play through, to practice your parkour skills. And I think you should move on to making more maps, because I will need more maps to play. That's basically it. So, once again, Jack the Awesome's custom level named Gymnasium. Awesome job there, mate. And let's move on to the next part of the agenda. And with that, we wrap up the community segment of this show, and we move on to the tweets and news segment. News sounds. Yay. And first, in the agenda in this part, we have 2 tweets by the Wolfire team. Actually, it's not 2 tweets. Sorry about that. It's actually 2 blog posts where David does kind of summaries of some GDC talks. And I don't think he was at GDC, was he? But maybe he just looks... Maybe they have videos of this stuff or something? Or was...
GDCvault.com. They've got like a whole archive of stuff.
Ooh, sweet. GDCvault.com. Okay, I'm gonna have to look at that later, because I really, really like this kind of stuff. And in this first one, David summarizes a talk by... Let's see who did this. A senior artist at DICE. So, an unnamed dude. And their radiosity. That makes everything look super awesome. But I hope Battlefield 3 is more optimized than all of the previous Battlefields, because they have a history of being very unoptimized. So, yeah, let's hope that works. Fingers crossed. And in the second summary that he has made so far, he talks about Halo networking, and there's a guy from... okay, let's see. There's a name here. A senior networking engineer at Bungie called David Aldridge. And he talks about the netcode in Halo 3 and Halo 3 Reach, I don't know what the names are really. But anyways, this is also very insightful. I like these kind of, even though I'm not a programmer, I still enjoy reading about these kinds of things, because I like knowing how stuff works. So there are no pictures, no pretty pictures in this one compared to the other one, but still very interesting to read through. And actually, netcode is something that, you know, even though I don't know anything about it really, well, I do know some stuff like UDP, TCP, whatever, stuff like that. But it's something that I think is very important in games, and it feels like some companies don't understand how important it is. Like in the first Halo game, for instance, they don't have the prediction stuff. So if you fire at someone running from, you know, horizontally from side to side, you need to shoot in front of him to hit him. But even though if you shoot straight at him, you will get like hit registration, like, yeah, you hit this guy, and you hit him like 300 times, but he won't die, because when the server says that where you're shooting, he isn't actually. So depending on your latency to the server, you are on different locations compared to what it looks like, where it looks like. Or, okay, I'm just rambling right now about stuff that probably no one understands, but anyways, my point is, networking code is important.
radiosity too. Like, I think they talked about, in the blog post, they talked about Mirror's Edge, and that was immediately what came to mind when I first started reading it. You know, just the lighting and just color, the visuals in Mirror's Edge are incredible, and it was because that was when the Unreal Engine, actually I don't even think it had the new lighting system. I'm trying to remember what it was called, but that was like the first like time in the Unreal Engine at least that lighting had been treated that way. And yeah, it's just, I think that's a really important piece when you're building environments.
Yeah, especially in modern times when it's so important to have good-looking games. New technology always enters the market, I suppose, and Radiosity does add a lot to a scene. But it's not like a lot in like shadows, like dynamic shadows adds whoa, that's so much to a game. But Radiosity is more subtle, but it's like when you have, for example, when you have ambient occlusion, for example, it's kind of hard to say like, oh, this scene is missing ambient occlusion. Like, obviously, it's hard to say that because it's kind of hard to notice. But when it's there and you compare it to when it's not there, it's very easy to see the big difference. So I think Radiosity will be something that almost every new game will be having in the future. And also, by the way, this lighting engine is made by Autodesk. The one they used in Mirror's Edge, it was made by Autodesk and it was called Beast. But that was a pre-rendered one, so it could take more than 24 hours to bake the lighting, the ambient occlusion, or well, the radiosity. Okay, sorry, I'm speaking too quickly now. So it could take more than 24 hours to bake the radiosity for one level in Mirror's Edge. That's what I wanted to say. So yeah, I hope David will keep making these because they're very interesting to see an awesome programmer write about awesome programming stuff. It's always cool. So yeah. So let's move on to the next item on the agenda, which is Kinect mocap, and this is a series of tweets. It's actually 4 tweets after one another. So in the first tweet, David wrote a tweet about that he's doing some initial tests of Kinect mocap. Kinect is the new, if you didn't know, it's like a thing for the Xbox 360. It has 2 cameras on it, so it can detect where you are in 3D space. It can basically make like 3D pictures and use that in game to have a full body recognition, full body movement recognition, stuff like that. And people have been connecting it to the computer and writing programs for it that can take the data and do stuff with it. So apparently some company or something like that is making a program where you can do motion capture using the Kinect. So this is the first picture he showed us where he's doing some initial motion capture tests using, what's it called? IPI Studio, yes. And then,
so are they going to use that? Are they going to use that for animation in Overgrowth then? Maybe, if it works? Is that what they're suggesting?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, especially considering, they can import motion capture data into Overgrowth right now, like BVH or whatever it's called. The thing is, having a motion capture studio, or renting a motion capture studio, is not very cheap at all. Excuse me. It's very expensive. You need like a load of cameras and equipment, stuff like that. So it's not something anyone can have. But for example, if a modder would want to do motion capture for his game because it's a much faster way to do animation other than just handcrafting it. It takes much more time to do handcrafted animation than to just use motion capture. So if this works, modders would be able to easily buy a Kinect for I don't know how much does it cost, $200 or something like that. Do you know how much a Kinect cost?
Connect is 150, I believe.
Yeah. So that's a relatively low price to be able to do motion capture, you know, if you're a modder and just do it in your home. So that would be kind of awesome. And in the second tweet, he writes, if you have a Kinect, you can try it yourself for free using the IPI Studio trial instructions here. So I'm just going to copy that and paste that in the chat. And in the next tweet, he writes, Kinect has great potential for home motion capture, but the software is not there yet. I expect improvements in the coming months, though. So he's basically saying that it's not good enough yet, but he thinks it will be good enough in the future. So hopefully we will be able to use the Kinect to motion capture stuff for Overgrowth in the future. And in the last tweet he writes, the best I've seen so far is Breckle Kinect. And there's a link, let me post that link to you guys. But it has trouble with BVH export, for example switching left and right arms. But if they fix that, I guess that's cool. So yeah, hopefully motion capture with Kinect, awesome stuff. Things happen. Yeah. And next on the agenda we have waypoint patrols, and this is a tweet as well. And this is David testing out waypoint patrols, so this is probably something we will see in the next alpha, hopefully, in a couple of days. As you can see in this fine little picture right here, open it in a new tab. There we go. There is a rabbit running from a box with a sphere in to another box with a sphere in. And that is awesome. Because this is the first step towards making actual playable levels where you fight and kill enemies. Because the problem right now with the enemies is that they just run towards you and attack you, so you can't be like, oh, this guy's supposed to be here, because every time you start the level and tell enemies to potentially attack you, they will all run straight towards you and just, you know, beat you down. But if you can make the AI just move from one place to another, just move around basically, and then attack you when they see you instead, bam, you have a game. So that's cool. Maybe we can do something else than just, you know, do some parkour and stuff like that. Maybe we can kill some
infiltrate an enemy base, and try to make your way to the center, and they see you and attack you or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's, yeah, basically like the basic gameplay in Lugaru, stuff like that. That's basically what you did in every level. Lugaru is much of a stealth game. Oh, yes, just floating off. Yes, stealth stuff. This is good. I hope we'll see this in the next alpha, and I hope it'll work so we can make actual stuff, actual levels where you do stuff, and not just jump around like a silly boy. And next up on the agenda, it's a tweet by David Rosen, or the Wolfire team. I don't know if it's actually just David Rosen every time. I'm just going to tell you what he wrote. He wrote, for now, we created a Dropbox gallery to view all of Aubrey's concept art for Overgrowth. Check it out here. And I'm copying that link and pasting it in the chat. I think we showed this earlier, actually, on the weekly before last weekly. But now it's official. They have, you know, written it in a tweet, so everyone should know about it. And this is basically 6 pages of awesome concept art and all kind of stuff like that from Aubrey. So that's very nice to look at. And I really like that they're doing this stuff, because most games don't release this kind of stuff other than after the actual game is released. And then it's usually like in a special book that you need to buy a special edition to get. Or they show the very beautifulest ones, you know, before the game is released as, you know, promotional art. So, yeah, this is awesome, of course.
there's another tweet. We can say it for the end of the show if you want. That they did about CryEngine 3, and it was actually kind of sad. David, or whoever posted it, said that they were just wanted to see the licensing information because they were curious about it, and the representative they were talking with said that they weren't recognized as a real company, so they couldn't show it to them.
Yeah, and I just actually didn't want to add that to there because, I guess it's news though, but it feels kind of like, okay, that's gone now, it was fixed. I was going to add it when they were like, oh, Crytek doesn't think we're a good company, or a company at all, I don't know. But that would be kind of funny because David have gotten, job offers from Crytek in the past, so it would be kind of funny if he goes like, oh, what's the licensing stuff for your engine? And they're like, we don't want to talk to you. So that would be kind of funny if that was the case, but yeah, it cleared itself up anyways.
Yeah, I was just really surprised that they would have said that because it seems like they're trying to go against the Unreal Engine, and the Unreal Engine is just out there like, anybody can use us, and we don't want anybody to use us, and it seems like, because the CryEngine's releasing a UD kit or developer's kit this summer, and that seemed totally against their thinking. But anyway, I'll stop. We're going way off of the schedule.
Yeah, no, I agree with what you're saying. That it's kind of weird, and whatever. It's a corporate company, huge company stuff. So our puny little minds cannot wrap our heads around stuff. Yeah, whatever. Man, I'm just talking crap right now. Okay, I need to get my act together for this next item on the agenda, which is John's beard has made an appearance on podcast 17. Well, appearance. Whatever. Okay, let's listen to this. Or, yeah, can I listen to it? Yeah, let's listen to it, it's awesome. Oh, I already have it downloaded though. Whatever. Here we go. Okay, so I just want to make this clear. This is an excerpt from podcast 17, and it's about John's beard. So here you go, guys.
Alright, who's the guy with the gray sword at
Devapalooza?
Devapalooza?
Oh, I think that's me.
That's you? You've got a nice beard.
Well, thanks.
That's the beard we're talking about.
I actually don't do anything for the studio. All I do is have that reputation.
Is it as good as John from Wolfire's beard? Or his old beard? He doesn't have that beard.
That's the thing. Like, he had a pink beard, and I loved that pink beard. I had an established romantic connection with his beard over the internet, and I really want him to bring that back.
While he was
So if you're listening, John, please do it for me, because I'm a big fan.
I watched him shave that masterful beast off his face. It made me cry. It really did. Manly tears.
Speaking of Wolfire, and well, I don't want to I'm very envious of their team is awesome, right? Like what they're doing is awesome. So I'm just,
Oh yeah, dude.
So Mike,
Wolfire all the way.
Mr. Chang, let's talk about the Source Engine.
So that's that. Little excerpt from podcast 17, which is an awesome podcast, which you should listen to. But it's mostly about the Source Engine, though. But if you're interested in, game development and mods in general, it's a very awesome podcast, even for that. So John's beard, the pink beard, I guess you could call it the god of the Wolfire community. Perhaps next after the Whaleman, I'm not sure. Yeah. Do you think he should bring his beard back?
I definitely think so. It's definitely become an icon. We all miss it.
Yeah, I think we all do. If you're in the chat, tell us if you want his beard back. Just say, yes, John, get your beard back. Because we all love your beard, John, and we were all very sad to, see it die. So, yeah, and you need to color it pink as well. You just have to. It's very important to all of the Wolfire community. and for mankind too, of course, and birds in general. Yeah, I'm looking forward to, you know, to growing my own beard someday. So you were a big role model for me, and I'll probably, you know, worship the beard for the rest of my life. Should start some kind of beard. Well, I guess we already have in the community. Whatever. Beards rule. You should get it. If you can get one, you should get one. And color it pink. And take pictures and post it on the forums. Sweet. So that's John's beard on podcast 17. Next up on the agenda is an art asset overview number 7. It's on the Escapist. Yay! Escapist. And this is the Escapist. And yeah, this is like a gaming site, right? I don't know much about this, the Escapist, but someone told me about it. I think it was Bjartensen in the IRC, Wolfire IRC channel. He told me that an Overgrowth art asset overview was on the Escapist, so I had to, you know, cover that. Since I know the Escapist is a big gaming site. Do you visit the Escapist, Wolf Brother?
To watch Zero Punctuation and Extra Credits, some of the best shows in the whole internet. Amazing stuff.
I'm not too into Zero Punctuation, actually. But the other one, yeah, Zero Punctuation is like, what can you call it? Zero Punctuation? It's like
an Australian guy reviewing stuff really fast without any punctuation.
Yeah, and weirdly, yeah, there's a like a weird cartoon thing with it as well. I don't know, kind of cool, I guess, but not my cup of tea.
Yeah, the Extra Credits is really interesting too. Anybody who just likes game design in general should check it out.
Extra
it's more
Credits,
of the,
yes.
It's like the artistic side of it, more like it's a little less technical than most stuff, but it's very interesting.
Yeah, I did see, I think, 1 or 2 Extra Credit episodes, and yeah, those are really good Extra Credits. They have some really good points, and they're fun to watch, and you learn a lot from them. So especially if you're a game developer, or if you're just interested in game development, you should check out Extra Credits. I recommend, at least. And Zero Punctuation as well. It's a very loved show on the internets. But as I said, just not my cup of tea. So I guess that's about it for that part of the agenda, and that actually is the end of the show. So, do you have anything you want to add before I start wrapping this up?
Nope, nothing in particular.
Okay, so this has been Overgrowth Weekly number 13, and next week you do not want to miss, because then I will have the almighty John Graham with the guy with the beard, or the guy who had the beard, and he is the PR, or yeah, he does everything for Wolfire that does not have to do with direct game development. So it's a large part of the development. Whatever. Just, yeah, John Graham on the show next week. It's going to be awesome. And Anton will be back next week as well, so look forward to that. And, yeah, if you're watching this live, or if you're not watching this live and want to get notified when it does go live, you should go to Justin TV, make an account, and just follow this show. You can follow me on Steam. You go to steamcommunity.com/groups/sftut. And youtube.com/OGWeekly is the place you go to see the recorded shows. You can also see them on Justin TV, and soon you will be able to see them as well on OGWeekly.com, which is the place you should go to first if you want to know anything about OG Weekly, or anything that might be going on around OG Weekly. So, with that, I'm going to wrap this up. Thanks a lot for being on today, Wolf Brother.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, I did remember to say thank you this week. That's awesome. So, yeah, I'll see you guys next week, same time, same place. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye.